I was on my way to the beach to shoot the life of coastal people. A foreign tourist who was sitting with me mentioned about a British painter painting on some special themes on the beaches of Kerala. I searched her name, Susan Beaulah, on the net and located her. Susan Beaulah, a British painter, had come across the Chakara in some remote Kerala beach in India in 2001 quite by chance.
Well, I first came to India painting in 1990, and my favourite subject was the women working in the fields. It was absolutely marvellous, this closeness to nature. I came back here again in 2001 to a artist residency, Palan Beach. When I got there, I realised in Kerala there were not women in their saris working in the fields. I couldn't find them.
The following year she returned to the same beach and found it desolate. Not a fisherman, let alone a fishing boat, is in sight. Was it a mirage? Or was she simply on the wrong beach? Susan, with the driver and guide Babu, covered hundreds of miles of Kerala coast before rediscovering the elusive fishing community. Getting to understand the hardships of the beach and negotiating a working relationship with the fisherfolk was a delicate and often tough experience for her. Susan's love affair with the Chakara is not the passing curiosity of a tourist or an analytical interest of an ethnographer. It has deeper significance in her life. She describes the thrill of watching the arrival of a boat on the shore. As a very small child, my mother talked about the ship coming in. Well, this was it. At last, after all these years, I found the image to match the dream. I had been waiting to see this all my life. Susan's watercolors strikes one immediately for their apparent realism, something that at first glance would look out of tune with contemporary art. They seem to portray everyday scenes on the beach and the daily lives of fisherfolk.
സുനാമി നെഞ്ചത്ത് അല്ല ഇത് ക്യാപ്റ്റൻ അത് മീൻമാരൻ വരുന്നൊരു കളവൻ ഇത് രതി നിർവേദമാണ് ഈ കിടക്കുന്നത് രതിയൊക്കെ കാരണം മുള്ളാണി പപ്പനെ മുള്ളാണി ഇയാൾ പറയപ്പെടുന്നു സെൽഫി പാരാമര സെൽഫി ഈ സന്തോഷമാണ് ദൈവിക്കുന്നത് ഇവിടെ ദൈവിക്കുന്നത് ക്യാപ്റ്റൻ This is Captain.
There's one thing that I don't understand in Kerala. I mean, when I first saw these beautiful fishing boats, I thought to myself, well, they're similar in shape and in aesthetic beauty to the gondolas in Venice, which are used all over as advertising imagery. They're so beautiful. Here in Kerala, there's these wonderful sites. I have never seen one on a brochure with the fishing people in them, and I have not seen artists painting them. The galleries are full of abstract paintings and things to do with the mind, psychological, modern ideas on art, whereas for me the wealth of imagery on these beaches is phenomenal. I think it says everything. It's saying human beings working alongside nature in harmony with nature. The boats are built from materials of the land. Everything has come from the land, and we have this wonderful harmony of shapes and colours, and, well, what else can I say? The fact that people living here don't seem to appreciate the beauty of these scenes is extraordinary. And there seems to be a prejudice against these people, perhaps because they are so poor and so downtrodden, and perhaps at one time, I know 20, 30 years ago, there was a big caste system here, and possibly the fishing people were no caste. Perhaps that is why they were not particularly interested in them. I don't know. I remember when I first came to India on a tour guide in this bus, and the man didn't want us to see anything of the poverty of the people working in the fields. He wanted us to see the beautiful temples and the great new buildings and so on. I don't know what it is, but anyway, I'm so pleased that I personally have captured the romantic, beautiful, romantic, how can I say it? Well, the pictures really speak for themselves, I hope.
Looking at them closely and contemplating them a little longer, one is gradually drawn by her keen eye for details, her intense feel for colours, and her very pleasing sense of composition. Against the natural presence of the sky, sea and sand that constitute the backdrop of most of her paintings, she is able to foreground the umpteen and teeming nuances of human presence, the everyday business of earning one's daily bread, and its struggles and thrills, sweat and tears. Her paintings not only capture the rhythms of daily life of the fishing community, but also that of the spaces around, the beach and its surroundings, the men and women busying themselves with the diverse bounty of the sea. Whatever she paints, the seascapes, colourfully festooned boats, fishermen, fish vendors and buyers, onlookers, ramshackle tea shops, middlemen and children, they are all too real. It is this very palpable liveliness and immediacy that animates her figures, giving them a peculiar intimacy and charm. She has a deep feel for the tonalities of light. She plays with it to evoke an amazing variety of moods. Her figures are sometimes bathed in sunlight, bright and merry. At others, they are gloomy and melancholic, as fickle and unpredictable as the sea, its ebbs and eddies, blessings and curses. Everything captured through differing intensities of color tones and layers of light and shadows. With the advent of mechanized fishing and trawling, these colorfully festooned and painted boats, each with a name and insignia of their own, are fast disappearing. The greedy monotony of the motorboats is gradually but inexorably making them unviable and near extinct, and with them are vanishing an entire culture of color and gaiety, of physical exertion and exuberance.
This has been a wonderfully productive time for me, pursuing my interests without having to earn enough money to pay the expensive rents that I have to in London. So I love being here. I love India, well, the way I can live here. beautiful. And I can feel, as I say, more creative freedom.
These vibrant and lively scenes will continue to live in the shores of our memory in Susan's enchanting watercolors.